Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the 27th day of December. As we're winding up 2023, I hope you're safe and healthy today. I hope your family's safe and healthy, especially now. A lot of incidents, family incidents, accidents, and bad things happen between Christmas and New Year. So please be careful. I hope you're all safe and healthy and that your needs of your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health is being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, especially at this time of year when there's a lot of incidents, and those that are out here as the first responders, often risking their lives to save lives. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage for us to clean up at the after party, to keep our places clean and disease free, and those that make deliveries of our presents and all the things we're trying to get for each other and for other people today. They're out here doing that for us. Blessings upon them. Blessings also, double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover. The teenagers and children that are the unfortunate victims year-round, 24/7 of child molestation and pedophilia. Those also that are victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on those who profit from it. And double curses on the perverts that create the industry. Finally, blessings, double blessings on the homeless, especially at this time. In many places in the United States, one of the coldest times of the year. And there's over almost 600,000 men, women, and children without roofs over their head. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's a scheduled basketball game tonight. The New York Knicks are in Oklahoma City to play the Thunder. This Thunder team is a playoff team, okay? This is not the young, rebuilding Oklahoma City Thunder, although they are still in the rebuilding mode. Couple things I like personally as a basketball fan, a pro basketball fan. I had teams like the Detroit Pistons and Oklahoma City on my League Pass favorites list with the Knicks because I love watching teams rebuild. And I like watching people that are good at it. And Sam Presti in Oklahoma City is one of the best to do it. And Oklahoma City has done this rebuilding multiple times. So they're pros at it. Unlike the Knicks, see, and some of you are going to get on here and start being negative about the Knicks because that's what you do. But the Knicks are new at rebuilding. Okay. So the Knicks have never in their history until now rebuilt. The first time they built it was in 1964 and 65 and 66 with Willis Reed and drafting a Walt Clyde Frazier and getting those people. That's the last time and the first time that they actually did it right. Every rest of the time been trying to do it on the fly, do it in a hurry, do it overnight, which is what most of y'all tried to do anyway. But now with the Don, they're trying to do it right. So we don't have a lot of history of rebuilding or understanding or knowledge of rebuilding. But Oklahoma City does. And doggone it, man. 2 years ago, here's Oklahoma City. 2 years ago. Actually, when you go back 3 years ago, they were 44 and 28 at that time. Billy Donovan was the head coach. 2019, 2020. You had Chris Paul there. You had Paul George there. You had all of that going on at that time. And you know, you had some mix of veterans, some young people, so on and so forth. But that was the last time. Then they finally, Sam Presti said, okay, let's clean the deck and start over. Now, with most teams, and this is what a lot of Knicks Nation doesn't get, so please listen carefully. With most teams, a rebuilding process, a total rebuild of an organization, and then we're talking about organization, not just a team, but Oklahoma City don't have to rebuild their organization. They need to rebuild their team, which means they got a little bit of a head start. But when you're rebuilding an organization with the team, it's generally a 5-year process. It's not a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year process. Right now, the Knicks are in year 4 of that. Okay, and this is when you're rebuilding your organization. What do I mean? That means your management team, your scouting team, your coaching staff, your trainers, and your players. That's a 5-year process. Okay, that's if you do it right. Now, sometimes you could get a shortcut. You know, you get a LeBron decides to come back to Cleveland and that shortcuts everything. That does happen, but that's not the norm for long-term sustainable winning. But that's what generally happens. So with the Knicks, we're in year 4 of that. So some of you that's whining and crying about this and that and the other thing need to chill. We're in the 4th year, not in 5 year yet. Okay, and the Knicks are doing daggone well. We'll talk about that in a second. But Oklahoma City are not rebuilding their organization. They got a tight organization. And part of it is knowing that you have Sam Presti there. He ain't going nowhere. And he got his crew around him. And they know how to draft. And they know how to scout. And they know how to develop. This is the important thing when you're rebuilding a team. And so 2019, 2020, they win 44 games. 2020, 2021, they get Mark, what's his name? I can never say his name. Mark Dagano. I can't really say his name right, but I can never say his name right. But anyway, they get this cat, and he knows how to play basketball the right way. He knows how to run their system. He has a system. They win 22 games and lose 50. Okay? That's in the 72-game season. Then 2021, 2022, they win 24 games and lose 58. Okay? But in that year, they drafted Josh Giddey. That year they get a Chet Holmgren. That year they get a Jeremiah Robinson. They start drafting a little bit. And they already had picked up a young Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And again, when y'all who are playing NBA 2K don't understand, teams don't give up when they get a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to the Knicks. I was hearing that. It was making me sick. Because it's fantasy. And we were never going to get him. Because Sam Presti had him. He was going to build around him. So now, that was 21-22. Last year, they pop up and win 40 games. That's without Chet Holmgren, who they drafted. See, now, you build, you draft, you get a J-Dub, who come out of Santa Clara. You get a J. Will out of Arkansas. Okay? You get a Josh Giddey from Australia. You're building. And you have your superstar, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And now, you get your game changer in Chet Holmgren. And again, this is not just any organization. This is an organization that knows how to build, how to draft, how to scout, how to develop. I was concerned with Chet Holmgren because, like I said, he lightened the behind. I'm still a little concerned with him. But for a team like Oklahoma City, it's almost like they're on the level right now in terms of understanding draft and development of San Antonio. They haven't won no chip yet, but they're going to. But they're on the same ground as San Antonio. In other words, if San Antonio drafts somebody or if they hire somebody, you got to pay attention because they see something that everybody else cannot see. When Oklahoma City chose Chet Holmgren, that was what was sticking in my craw because I thought he was too light in the behind. But they saw something. I mean, obviously, the boy has talent. And so far, he's been playing, he missed all last season, but he's been pretty healthy this year. Like I said, still the question is still out. We got to see. We only 28 games into the season, so we still got 62, 64 games left to go, and the playoffs. But so far, so good. And even though he's still lighting the behind, if they could kid him for the playoffs, rest him and get him to the playoffs, there's gonna be hell to pay. So then this season, here they are now, 28 games in, 3rd in the West. They just thoroughly beat Minnesota. I was watching the game. I do that. I watch games against teams the Knicks got to play. Plus, like I said, I had Minnesota a couple of years ago as they were up and coming, and here they are. They made some moves, and now here they are with their young team. And they top in the West, and Oklahoma's right there. And last night, Oklahoma thoroughly beat them in Oklahoma last night. And Oklahoma is a really good team. So now you get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's got 5 years NBA experience. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is 26 years old. No, sorry, 25 years old. He's 25 years old. Okay? And he's your leader. Josh Giddey. Isaiah Joe is a guy they drafted out of Arkansas. That was pretty good. I liked him that year. But I didn't know. And then he didn't play a whole lot. I think he came out of Philly. But anyway, they got him. And now he's in the rotation, hitting big shots. He's another young cat, 24 years old. Of course, they got Chet, 21 years old. The two J. Will, J. Dub. One of them's 22, one of them's 21. Kendrick Williams, who's been with this organization for a number of years on the DL. Not a superstar, solid dude though. Solid dude in the rotation. Then they hit it big with Lou Dort, I feel like, because 6'3", 215, I didn't know if he was going to, be able to play on in the league with that kind of level, but he plays all NBA level defense. And now he's hitting threes. In fact, he's hit 100 threes in 100 games in his career. I mentioned Josh Giddey, Carson Wallace, who they got this year. Here they come. Okay, here they come, and they still got a lot. I say you're mentioning these ages. Chet Holmgren is 21. Isaiah Joe is 24. Carson Wallace is 21. 20. Josh Giddey just turned 21. Lou Dort, 24. I mean, the Jay Wills, 21 and 22. They already good. They already third in the West. And they still got like 3 more years of growth with just the team they got right now. That's why I say, for the New York Knicks, this is what I'm looking for. See, we got right now the rebuild of the organization. Okay? That's the most important piece. Then you start rebuilding the team. So right now, the organization is getting solid. You need about this season and next. That's why all you fired Tom Thibodeau knuckleheads, you don't understand this. You just don't. And many of you sitting in your chair with your beer in your head thinking you know more than Tom Thibodeau, who's been on the sidelines in the league for 20 years or more, 30 years. Before some of y'all was even born. Anyway, this is how you build a team. So now you got the Don, and then you got the New York media, they brought Leon Rose in to bring in big stars, big time. No. I don't care what Ian Begley say. I don't care what nobody say. When you hire a Leon Rose and you bring in the team that came in, Walt Perrin, with him, you're building a long-term sustainable winner. You're not saying you got to bring us a superstar or you failed. That's idiocy that has kept us in the bottom of the league and laughing stocks. That's not Sam Presti. That's not Buford down there in San Antonio. That's not Miami. 5 years to build the organization. Now, at the same time, the Knicks are building a team, and we're doing daggone good at it. So now the Knicks are 17 and 12. They need to win tonight against a good Oklahoma City team to be 18 and 12, because in the East right now, it is tough, man. I mean, like I said, I told y'all before, it's going to be a dogfight all year, and it is. And right now, what you got, the Knicks 17 and 12. A half game behind Miami, who's the 5th seed. Knicks is 6th seed, 18 and 12. And you got Orlando, 18 and 11. Now, Orlando tonight plays Philly, second night of a back-to-back. It's in Orlando, but Philly will be without Joel Embiid, from what I'm gathering so far. I'm hoping that he comes back, because if Joel Embiid comes back to play, they can beat Orlando in Orlando, okay? But if we get Philly to beat Orlando, because Paul Reed did a good job the other night. He's just now getting used to getting them heavy minutes. A lot of us like Paul Reed coming. I think he came out of DePaul. We liked him coming out of college. Okay, he was a good backup, power forward, center type dude, and he still is. He's like, he's like J-Dub down there in Oklahoma City. J-Dub is 6'9", come out of Arkansas, backup power forward, backup center. Okay, but Paul Reed is in that same level. I think he come out of, if I'm not mistaken, I think he come out of DePaul. I gotta look it up. But anyway, he could play. So he's getting used to filling in for, an MVP. So I think they're gonna get it, they're gonna have a fight tonight. So it's gonna be a dog fight. I'm pulling for Philly, believe it or not, because Philly is now 20 and 9. Okay, they're top 3 in the East. But for the Knicks right now, if we could get a win tonight, Oklahoma and Orlando loses the game, we can pull into the 4th spot. Then we got to head up collision Friday against Orlando. But we'll deal with that in a second. That's going to be for the solidifying of the 4th spot. I don't think Orlando's going to sustain this. Orlando right now winning 62% of their game. I looked at the schedules. Orlando getting ready to get the real NBA schedule in January. I think they got 4 back-to-backs. Okay? It's your turn. You see, everybody gets their turn. See, the Knicks had theirs already. October, November, December. We had ours. It's time. Orlando now going to go into theirs. Okay? So, I think this is going to be an interesting January. And we'll see how this works out. But I don't see them continuing to win 62% of their games for the whole season. But Orlando still, I'm looking at them as a playoff team still. But tonight, we got to handle business against a very difficult situation. First of all, going down into Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma isn't, nothing against Oklahoma, but it's in the middle of nowhere. For most civilizations, I'm saying, in terms of populations. And so you got to fly down into the woods, out there. And so I'm not saying, power to the people in Oklahoma, but dang, it's out there. So the Knicks got to go into this territory and come up with this win. Now, the thing is, with the Knicks right now, we know we're missing Rob. And we know we got our boy, Hartenstein, Roughneck, starting. And then we got still, we got Taj, so they got to roll what we got until we can get Jericho Sims back. But I'm thinking he'll be back after the new year. He should be, back after the new year. So for January, we'll probably have Sims back. But for now, we got to roll what we got. RJ had a good game, the last game. He's got to come back and play again. He's got to be consistent now. So it's time. I'm pretty confident in Brunson, even though he's got a test today, because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is that dude. And the thing is that, in more specific, he's tall. He's tall and long. Generally, a team wants to guard Brunson with a tall and long guy, and Shai Gilgeous fits that. Okay, so that's gonna be difficult. And then you gotta have defense on him. So Dante and Grimes are gonna have their hands full today, guarding him. Okay, so you got that. Then, of course, there's Holmgren. I'm not as concerned, honestly, about Holmgren today. I'm not saying he ain't going to go off, because he can't. The boy is talented. Now, there's no doubt. But he is light in the behind. And like I said, Hartenstein's a roughneck. And the thing is, the refs let him play. I'm feeling pretty confident in that right now. Because Holmgren is like, again, he's one of them cubs that ain't become the full-grown lion yet. So we can take advantage of him now. And so I'm thinking we can get that done. Josh Giddey, again, height, 6'8", 2 guard. But he can't shoot the jump shot as much as he can get to the hole. But I'm very confident in our guys being able to guard him, that need to guard him. So Lou Dort, though, tough, roughneck, can shoot now. We know he's all NBA level defense, young. This is not going to be easy, yo. And they got a good bench. Like I said, J Dub, Kendrick Williams. They got a good bench, man. They got a good bench. Carson Wallace, Isaiah Joe is coming off the bench for them. They got a good bench. So we're going to have our work cut out for us. I'm not saying we're going to lose. It's not like that. Like, it's not like we're playing the Bucks and we're not prepared. No. This is going to be a war tonight. The Knicks got to come to play in hostile territory. We got to come out with this W. So I'm hoping the Knicks can do this. This is important for the standings right now. Things are getting solidified. I'm feeling good, cautiously optimistic about the Knicks because of the January schedule coming up. They got 3 back-to-backs, but it's not the same as what we've just been dealing with. And January is really the last month that they got to deal with that heavy back-to-back situation. So, and they have actually in January a lot more home games than they got away games. So I'm not saying it's an easy schedule, but it's much better for the Knicks than what they've been dealing with. Whereas somebody like Orlando, they got hell to pay in January. It's their turn, okay? And some other teams, that haven't had that hell to pay yet, they're gonna play. But the thing is, about Oklahoma City, they paid their hell too, and they still 19-9. They come through a tough schedule, man, and they still 19-9. So I like Oklahoma City going forward. I always, like I said, I like following teams that know how to do it right. These guys got development and rebuild down to a science. And I'm looking for us as a Knicks organization to become this, okay, in the future. For now, though, let's get this W in OKC and let's move forward. Y'all enjoy your Wednesday. So